Okay, we're in Siman Taf Reish Ayin Aleph. That is 671.
The same?
274.
It's not the same.
Seder Hadlakat Ner Chanukah Umkom Hanachato. Maran says, left side, Maran. Taf Reish Ayin Aleph. You see that? See that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Barry found it?
Yeah.
The order of lighting the Chanukah candles in the place where you put them. Says Maran, Tzarich lizaher. I want you to see this. Not all of your books, not all of them have this, but before tzarich, is there a tiny little aleph?
Yes.
There is.
Does that take
Bigger
it
aleph.
a margin on the side of the page?
It's bigger olive.
A bigger aleph.
Yeah.
Oh, that's something else. That's the aleph that tells you this is the first halacha. Is there a tiny aleph there?
No.
Yeah.
So in
this
berries
one
there
has
is, in
three
margins there
olives.
is.
Yeah.
This
Oh.
takes you, follow it to the left side of the page.
Yeah.
You see where it tells you Rambam?
What is it?
On the left side. Literally follow it to the left. Just take your finger
You mean here?
and take it across. Yes, over there. Very good. He's telling you that the source of this halacha in Shulchan Aruch comes from the Rambam. So if you'd like to look up the original, you would look it up over there. And then it tells you the Rambam got his source from the Talmud and Psachim. And if you want to look it up in the Talmud over there, he's giving you the source to look it up over there.
So how do you know this is Rambam? Because I don't see the words Rambam.
What does it say there? It's
That's-
Rashi's script?
Yeah.
No, let me
What
see
is
it.
Rashi's
One
Oh,
second.
I see. This is Rashi's script.
Is it Rashi's script?
I don't know.
Eli, want to pass it over?
No,
I'm not sure this book has it. This is a cover. I'm not sure this
This?
has it.
Oh, this is the olive. Wait. Well, that's the other olive.
Yeah, it says Rambam in
Oh.
Rashi's script.
Rambam. Yes. This says Rambam.
See that?
And make it cool.
The reason I'm doing this, by the way, aside from I like to learn Shulchan Aruch inside, you're already at the level of text-based learners. But I'm thinking, I'm not sure yet, I'm thinking, we're having a problem ordering the new volumes of these books.
Really?
They seem to be out of print. And they seem to have a few copies in New York. Dan is still trying to round some up. Maybe now in Israel he'll find that they have a lot. The question is how you bring them here. In the unlikely scenario, that we cannot get our hands on enough copies, we might whip out a Mishnah Berurah like this. And we'll learn from here. And what I'll do is we'll learn inside the way I would have done in yeshiva. And I'll walk us through the different halachot. It'll be a little more work. But this has vowels, which is a plus. You should know our book doesn't have. This has vowels. A lot more information that might not necessarily be necessary. But I'm still toying with this idea. I won't make a decision without talking to you guys about it. But it's good to know how to use a Mishnah Berurah properly. That way you can learn the Mishnah properly. So, tzarich, tzarich lizaher me'od. The person must be very careful. B'hadlakat nerot Chanukah, when lighting Chanukah candles. Careful meaning very scrupulous as to fulfilling this mitzvah. V'afilu ani, and even a poor person, hamitparnes min tzedakah, who lives off of tzedakah, shoel or mocher ksuto, he either sells, or there's a word for it, shoel, not to loan out, to put down as a collateral. Ksuto, his clothing. V'lokech shemen lahadlik, and he buys oil to light.
I thought that word is ask. Sure.
Also ask,
Yeah.
in the sense here to loan, as in to ask someone to hold on to it so that you could get money in its place. Right. This is a simple halacha. Bet, kama nerod madlik. How many candles does one light? Belayla rishon, on the first night, madlik echad. You light one candle. Mikan ve'elach, from here on out, mosif v'holech echad b'chol layla. You keep going and adding one more each night. Ad shebelel acharon, until the last night, you shmona. There will be 8 candles. So that's what we do. You light one, and you keep adding and adding and adding until you reach 8. Ve'afilu im rabim b'nei habayit, and even if there are many people living in this house, lo yadliku yoter, you should not light more than 8 candles in the house. This is the Sephardic opinion of Chanukah. Each house has one Chanukiah, no more. Doesn't make a difference how many people live in the house. One. Haga, says the Rama, I have a note. V'yesh omrim, and some say,
I'm just a little bit confused. If it is a house, how many people there, it
doesn't make a difference. One person lights for everybody.
One person lights for everybody.
Correct. So Maran is consistent about this. Like lighting Shabbat candles. According to Maran, there's no purpose in lighting extra Shabbat candles if you go to somebody's house. When we go to somebody's house and we're staying there, they light candles, and they ask my wife, do you want to light candles? And my wife lights without a bracha, just to make them happy. But I can make a bracha. They already lit candles. What's the point? So Ashkenazim have, the Rama writes, there's an inyan, l'hosif o, to add a light. The more light you have, the bigger of a mitzvah it is. Okay, this is going to be a consistent argument in halacha here.
When
You're
you
not
go to
supposed to.
someone's house on Shabbos, you don't say a bracha.
Why do we light candles?
Because my mother lit candles.
No, why do we light candles?
It's light.
So there's light in the
Light
house.
up the room,
What's
but
the
on
light?
Hanukkah you can't use it.
Very good. So my wife turns off the light in the house, and then she lights candles. But if someone already lit candles, why do I need to light candles?
I thought it was incumbent on everybody to do it.
Yeah.
Right. That's what
But
most
on
people.
Hanukkah, it makes no sense to light a lot of candles because you can't use the light for anything.
Right, you cannot use the light. There's a second issue here. If we're trying to show everybody what the miracle is, I mean, how many nights of Hanukkah it is? If I walk by a house and I see 73 candles, I don't know what night of Hanukkah it is. I mean, you didn't accomplish anything by lighting that many candles. This is Maran's opinion. Not everyone agrees with this. Yesh omrim, some say, says the Rama, that kol echad mibnei habayit, that every person in the house, yadlik, should light a candle. V'chein minhag bashut, and that is the simple custom here in Ashkenaz, that everybody lights their own candles. V'zaharu liten kol echad v'echad nerotav b'makom miyuchad. Listen what the Rama says here very carefully. And those who have this custom to light more than one Chanukiah per house should be careful to place their Chanukiah in a different place, in a separate place. K'dei sheyeh heker, so that it will be visible, kama nerot madikin. It will be apparent how many candles they are lighting on that night. Those who want to light more than one Chanukiah should not be lighting them in the same place. Each one should take a windowsill, or each one should take wherever you light, or at least to space them out in such a way that you can tell this is one Chanukiah, this is second Chanukiah, this is a third Chanukiah. But you see in some houses where they have a table this size and have 4 or 5 Chanukiot on it, this is, according to the Ramah, this is not the ideal way to fulfill this mitzvah. I have to point out here that even according to the Ashkenazim, the Mishnah Berurah writes, when it says that everybody lights their own Chanukiah, levad mishto, this is except for his wife, who does not light dehi kegufo, because she's considered the same human being as him. Meaning, the husband and wife, again, come out of halakha, they're not 2 people living in the same house, they're 1 person living in the same house. And therefore the husband would light for both of them. In many cases, like for the Malaperet, he lights 1 candle, and his wife lights the next candle. And then they both light in the same Chanukiah. But there shouldn't be 1 for a husband, 1 for a wife. Today I've seen that many people do that already. I can't, nobody asked me any questions. Oh, my house, my wife also lights a Chanukiah.
Mhm.
Why?
Why?
I'll answer you the question already now. Let me find you this.
She has
But
the
each one faces a
custom to do
different
that.
side of the house.
Oh, very good. So come with me to Halacha 8, Chet. It's skipping a few sentences. Marlene, in your book, it's going to be the opposite of page 278. So the one opposite, Chet. Do you guys see a Chet in there?
I see. Okay. And
There should be
Zion.
Vav, Zayin, Chet.
Oh, might be one more
You
page.
might want to
Here, in the middle, here. Chet.
No, up on the top. Look in the Shulchan
Oh.
on the top.
Oh,
Very
yes.
good. Over there. That's right. You found the Jack?
No, but I will.
Look, don't ignore the things on the bottom of the page. Just look at the top
Yeah,
5 or
looking
6
at
lines of the
the
page.
top. Zion, Vav. Zion.
You're looking for a big Chet, the size of that Aleph that you saw earlier.
Oh boy, mine's like 3 pages after.
Right? You found
Oh,
it there?
here, Chet.
Chet, okay. The first word is Chatzer.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay, Chatzer, a courtyard. Where do people used to light? Not inside their house, outside of their house. Chatzer, if someone has a courtyard. Shesh lo shnei ptachim, which has two entrances. Mishnei ruchot, from two different directions. Tzarich lehadlik b'shtehem. A person must light in both of them. Mipnei hachashad, because of suspicion. You don't want someone to say, "Oh, he didn't light Hanukkah candles. Look, the door that's facing my house, he doesn't light Hanukkah candles."
So that's Moran.
This is Moran. V'im shnei haptachim beruach echad, and if both of these openings are in the same direction, dai lo be'echad mehem, it's enough if you light just on one of the windows. I mean, not every window has to have a Chanukiah. Not every entrance has to have a Chanukiah, but every entrance that faces a different direction has to have a Chanukiah. Now that we light inside of our house, most of these halachot have already changed. Many of these specifications no longer apply. What I'm trying to share, though, is when we called up Halacha Pellets and we want to ask, do we light another? What do you do when you have kids and your kids want to light? It's hard for them that only the father lights, those kind of things. Okay, so I didn't grow up like this, but in most Sephardic homes, so the father lights them. He lights one candle, and everybody in the house lights another candle. So the first night or second night it's tough, but the rest of Hanukkah there are enough candles there to go around. That being said, there's still an inyan. There's still this idea to have different public thoroughfares having a Hanukkah candle. So I light in my dining room, which I'm facing towards the people in my house. And then the street that faces the front of my house, that's where my wife lights, in that window. So on that side of the street, people could see that there are Hanukkah candles. I mean, even if I wasn't married, I probably would light in that window anyways. Just to have two Chanukiot facing in two different places.
So, which is it? One for each family, or as many directions as there are windows?
Very good. So imagine that when we talk about a house in Halakha, we're talking about something the size of this room. Not size is irrelevant, but imagine a situation like this. Where would you light Hanukkah candles in this room, according to Halakha? Right outside of that door.
Yeah.
Are there any other entryways into this Beit Knesset?
No.
Yeah,
yeah,
that door.
that's right, yeah.
Why don't we light in that door?
Same direction.
It's the same. I mean, the one right next to each other. The doorway doesn't constitute a new menorah unless it's facing another direction. So Maran is adding another requirement to his initial statement. You're right. You light one menorah in each house, assuming that there's one entrance into this house. If there are two entrances, then you light two Chanukiot, but not because of the amount of people in the house. Rather, it's because of the amount of entryways you have into the house. That is Maran's opinion. Okay, let's go back.
How about Ramah?
Very good. Ramah said, Ramah doesn't argue with Maran here in Chet, which means that the Ramah agrees. But let's see what he says in the next halakha. Keep going. Look at the end of Chet in the smaller print. In your page is 280, Marlene. V'im madlik b'shnei p'tachim, and if he's lighting in two entrances, eino mevarech hak b'echad mehem. You only make a blessing on one of them. Uvasheni madlik b'lo b'cham. The second one you light without a blessing. Mihu, but b'zman hazeh, nowadays, shekulam madlikim b'fnim mamash. Everybody lights literally inside their house. Ve'en heker l'rshut harabim klal. And the people on the street can't see the Chanukiah at all. You have to understand, this custom of lighting in your window is an American Jewish custom. In Europe, in Sephardic countries, people were terrified to light a Chanukiah on the entrance of their house. You lit a Chanukiah on your dining room table, the same place you light your Shabbat candles. My father still lights like that.
Yeah,
Why would you light in the window or in a doorway or anything like that? The reason was to publicize the halakha. Once you don't light outside of your house anymore, the whole inyan, the whole idea of publicizing the miracle is only for the people of your house. Therefore says the Ramah, nowadays where we don't even light in a place where people outside can see, even if the house has many entryways, or the courtyard has many entrances to many different directions, we only light in one place inside of the house. This is what appears to me. I mean, the Ramah is guessing it. This is my opinion. And this is what I've seen that the people in our community, this is what they do. Nobody lights more than one Chanukiah per house unless there are more people in the house. Where in Ashkenaz you would light more Chanukiot for them. So what does the Ramah say? The Ramah agrees with Maran but says that nowadays it's different.
But the Ramah would agree with the Ashkenazic custom then of it was many people in the house lighting.
Yeah, he's the one who wrote that earlier.
Ramah.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was the Ramah. Okay, so I'm going back to Halacha Aleph.
It doesn't really matter. I mean, if both are really acceptable, you could do either today.
Correct, but neither of them require a bracha, so you will light it without a bracha anyway, so you can light as many Chanukiot as you want.
The first one you do light with a bracha.
Sure. The Ramah doesn't argue with that. He questions whether you have to light any more than just one nowadays.
Back to 274.
Yeah, we're back to the beginning of it. I want to read two together. There's a number of levels of lighting Chanukah candles. I'm sure you know. Ner mitzvah, the chiyuv, what you have to light. Mehadrin, a higher level than what's the bare minimum. And mehadrin, mina mehadrin, the highest level. This entire halacha in Aleph, all of this is according to the opinion of mehadrin, mina mehadrin. And I'll explain. Okay, the Rambam writes the following. Every person in the house lights one candle on the first night. So if there are 4 of us in the house, we light 4 candles on the first night.
For Hanukah.
Okay,
Yes.
fine. Not necessarily, but okay. The way we would do it is we would have 4 Chanukiot, but not necessarily.
But then you think it's the 4th day.
According to the Rambam, that's the basic halacha. If you'd have one person, okay, this is one candle for every person per night of Hanukkah. The second night we light 8 candles, meaning 2 Chanukiot, 2 candles each. What if a person doesn't have enough money to light that many candles? The Rambam says that a person is able to light 1 candle for each night of the holiday, regardless of the amount of people in the house. So, on the first night of Chanukah, if there were 10 of us in the house and we didn't have enough money for 10 Chanukiot, how many would we light?
1.
1. And then the second night, how many would we light?
2.
1.
1 because
Because
you're doing 1
we're just
each
doing
night.
1 per night, meaning 1 candle to represent
Right.
the miracle of the Chanukah candle
Yeah,
of that
I
day,
get it.
period. Nobody lights like this anymore. I mean, there are some. I've seen some in Yerushalayim, maybe some people who could not really not afford anything. They
Yeah.
lit like this. 1. 8 night of Hanukkah, doesn't make 100 people in the house, 1 candle. This is the bare minimum. Per house, 1 candle per house. Let me try to think this through with you. There are going to be 3 categories of lighting candles. So there's going to be 1 candle per household. That's the bare minimum. Everyone agrees. 1 candle. Regardless of the Hanukkah, you light 1 candle. The second best level, or the top level, let's say, this goes to the top level. The best way to light Hanukkah candles, according to the Sfaradim, regardless of the amount of people in the house, you light 1 candle for every night of Hanukkah, and you add every night as you go on. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. If you have 10 people in the house, you still light 8 candles. In an Ashkenazi household, following the Rambam's opinion, interesting enough, the Sfaradim here are following Tosfot, who's Ashkenazi, and the Ashkenazim are following Rambam, who's Sephardic. Why? Don't ask me. It's one of those places in Halakha. According to this opinion, if there were 10 people in the house, the first night, how many candles would be lit? In an
10.
Ashkenazi household, in the most ideal
10.
situation, 10. The second night,
So that means each person has their
Right.
own
correct. 20, 30, 40, 50, 80. 80 would be the last night of Hanukkah. 80 candles.
80?
I've never seen that.
What do you mean? Of course
Well,
you've
if you
seen
have, if you have
That
10
many.
people, you have 10 menorahs, and you could do that.
it. If you were had 9 kids at home, how many Chanukkahs would you light?
9.
Including you?
10.
So on the 8th night of Hanukkah, how many candles do you have?
80.
8. That's what you see. You just see it in smaller families. I mean, it could be that in my wife's house, they would have
Oh.
reached like 130 candles.
Really?
That's not
No.
included.
more because of
The parents, okay. That's not including the shamash.
That's right. Oh
Okay.
my
I'm
God.
exaggerating. 10 is not. That is including the shamash. And I gave a little extra. 13 times 8. You're going to help me with the math. What, a lot of
Four.
candles they'd be lighting.
It's gonna be a fire hazard.
Well, sure. Sure, in yeshiva, there's a big problem because you can't.
No.
You have to light halachically in the dormitory. That's where you live. If you light that many candles in a dormitory, it's very dangerous.
100%.
So what they did in Baltimore was they lit in the dining room because that was built for kitchens, fires,
Yeah.
those kind of things, cinder blocks, and it was under supervision constantly. There was a kitchen staff who was there watching. Well, you should know you're lighting about 1,000 Chanukiot in that room.
Whoa.
Jeez.
So it means the 8th night of Hanukkah, you're lighting, I'm not wrong, 1,000
Yeah.
candles.
Yeah.
8,000 candles.
8,000.
It gets very hot. You should know there's a problem in Baltimore when you light like that. Basically, the whole perimeter of the room is with tables, like these kind of tables around the room. People light and light all over the place. The problem is that a wax candle is built to last about 30 minutes. It's only built to last 30 minutes when it's lit alone. When it's lit in this fiery inferno of
It goes
8,000
fast.
candles, it takes maybe a minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, the candle's gone.
Yeah, so then
Oh.
that doesn't follow.
The
how-
question is, did you fulfill your obligation
Yeah.
with that?
Yeah.
Well, you put enough oil. Did you put enough oil? Yeah. Situation had it. It's a good question. The better question is, are you even allowed to light in a dining room? The answer is no, but because of a fire hazard, the rabbis there ruled that it's better to light like this than to put people's lives in danger. I'm not sure how that calculation works out. This has been argued about by many rabbis over the generations.
If it only lasts a few minutes, then you didn't put enough oil because you're counting how much oil you need for that particular situation, not for some other ideal situation. where you
Interesting.
have
So the question is, when you calculate the amount of oil, do you calculate based on the situation it's in or based on a regular scenario?
No, it's not a regular scenario.
Halacha has it that if you build a sukkah, that the wind blows away, even when your sukkah was still standing, it wasn't a kosher sukkah. But a sukkah that can be blown away by the wind is not a kosher sukkah. What happens if you build a sukkah and a hurricane comes through and it blows away your sukkah? Does that mean that your sukkah is not
No.
kosher?
No, that's a different
It's
situation.
an irregular situation. In which case, it could be that if you want to use a proof from there, I'm not coming here to give you a halakhic opinion. Just, I see a reason why someone could say, if this were to be isolated in its own place, I put enough oil in there.
A hurricane comes once in a blue moon. You have no idea when it's going to come.
Here
But
you're saying you
light
could have
there,
prepared
you
for
know,
this. Sure.
because year after year after year, it's the same thing.
I
So
have a
it's-
few proofs like you.
Oh.
A few. If you light a Chanukiah, let's say you light it in someplace I don't know, your driveway. Then you want to bring it and put it inside your house. Why did you light it out there? I don't know. You lit it out there and you brought it in. Now that you put it down in a place where it does fulfill the mitzvah, most Muslims would say it didn't count. You'd have to blow it out and light it again in the place where it needs to be. I mean, the place that you light it has to be. You go based on where it is that you light, not what it would be if it was on its own. Look, there's a lot to think about in these halachot. According to the middle opinion, there would be an argument between Sfaradim and Ashkenazi. What is the best middle ground? You know, like in a yeshiva like Baltimore, if it was a Sephardic yeshiva, what they would do is they would light one Chanukiah in the dormitory for everybody. And everybody would pay a few cents to be part of the mitzvah. And actually, the Sephardic students in Baltimore, that's what they do. There's one guy who lights for everybody, and they pay him a few pennies to be part of his mitzvah. And you wouldn't have 8,000, you have one Chanukiah. It's a very different way to observe the holiday. So I don't think most people know that there's a different opinion than that. The middle ground is interesting. If I have enough money to light candles, more than just one, what should I do? If I'm in a house with 10 people, should I light 10 candles every night of Hanukkah? I mean, the first night 10, the second night 10, the third night 10. Or should I light one for every person? One for every night of Hanukkah, meaning 1, then 2, then 3, then 4, until you reach 8. You see, the Sfaradim would say that in a less than ideal situation, what you should do is light for every person in the house. So if you have 10 people in the house, the first night you light 10. The second night you light 10. The third night, even though Sfaradim normally don't go by the amount of people, but they go by the amount of the house. In a middle situation, in a just and mehadrin situation, they would say per amount per people per night. The Ashkenazim would say no. It might be better to light one Chanukiah for each house.
That's-
One, then
that's
two, and then three.
inverting the whole,
The scenarios are
philosophy.
slipping,
Yeah.
are flipping here. Okay, I'm just sharing with you some of the mental gymnastics that go into this.
Definitely
Halacha here.
gymnastics. But it is not necessary to put the candles in, or the oil in the window. It's okay to keep it on the table, as long as you can look at it.
As long as it's in the central part of your house, it does not have to be near a window. Some say this whole halacha of publicizing the miracle publicly, meaning not inward, outwardly, is no longer relevant today.
Because when you put it in the window, the sill is not always that stable, you know, the candle.
Sure. Sure.
It's not safe.
You mean it's not necessary
To put it in the window.
to
Yes, correct.
We have it on his authority.
huh?
We have it on his authority.
Let's read it here. Hey. I'm skipping these next two. They're not relevant to us here. Hey, do you see hey? What I mean for you is going to be opposite page 276. Opposite.
Yes.
Says Mara, Ner Chanukah, the candle of Chanukah, menicho al petach hasamuch lirshut harabim mibachutz. You put it outside of your doorway that's facing the public thoroughfare, outside of your home. Im habayit paduch lirshut harabim, menicho al pitcho. If his house itself, it opens up straight to the public domain, then he puts it right outside of his doorway. V'im yesh chatzer lifnei habayit, and if there's a courtyard in front of the house, manicho al petach chatzer, you put it at the entrance of your courtyard.
Courtyard.
In San Diego, most houses don't have a front yard that is really considered a courtyard. Most, not all, some do. Most houses, your doorway, anybody from the street can walk up to your front door, correct?
Mm-hmm.
There are some houses that have a gated-in front yard. In those houses, they will not light at their front door. They will light at the front door of the courtyard on the sidewalk.
Sidewalk.
Nobody does that.
Well, nobody does lights outside of the house anyways in America.
Yeah.
In Israel, where we do, this is a real thing. If your house opens up to the street, that you light it right there.
The candles could go out very easily.
Oh, there's a special glass boxes that they put their candles in nowadays. It looks like a fish tank, imagine. A little aquarium. V'im haya dar ba'aliyah. What if you live up in an attic? Another floor. She'en lo petach patuach reshut harabim, and you have no doorway that opens up to the public domain. So, if someone rented this attic for me up here, and their only entrance in that house was mine, where would they light? Manicho b'chalon hasamuch reshut harabim. They light in their window that faces the public domain. So they have a window that faces outwards. That's where they light their Hanukah.
But the window's not so important.
If you live in an apartment building, here you're still talking about a situation where people are lighting outside, which publicizes the miracle is important. This is pre our condition today.
Okay.
If you live up on a second floor, third floor, fourth floor, you would light in your window, not in the courtyard downstairs, because that's not necessarily your courtyard. It's an apartment building's courtyard. Uv'shat sakana, in the time of danger, she'no reshai l'kayem mitzvah, where it's dangerous for a person to do this mitzvah. Manicho al shulchano v'dayo. You put it on your table in your home, and that's enough. By the way, this whole discussion this only applies, like Jack pointed out, in a place where we still light the Chanukah outside. Today, we are all following this opinion of it's dangerous and we light our Chanukah inside. V'tzarich ner echad lishtamesh la'orom. And you need one candle in order to use the light of that candle. This is what we call in English shamash. V'im yesh medura, and if there's a bonfire in your house or a fireplace going on, eino tzarich ner acher. You do not need another light, because so long as there's another source of light in the room, you don't need a shamash. Period. It's a simple halacha in Shulchan Aruch. You do not need a shamash if you have another source of light in your house.
You mean an electric light?
Right.
too?
Sure,
So you don't need a shamash?
of course not.
Oh,
Don't worry, I'm not trying to say that you. Nobody knows this halacha. This is a simple halacha, but nobody knows it. Everyone thinks you have to light a shamash.
Yeah.
It's not true. Only in a place where you don't have a light.
Is this foul?
By people who know the Shulchan Aruch? Yeah. I didn't used to light a shamash, but when I moved to San Diego, every nunnik who comes to my house, oh, why do you have a shamash? Why do you have a shamash? Oh, you forgot to light the shamash. So what I don't know if you ever noticed this, but I'm going to just show you something. All the Hanukiyot that are made for people who light with oil.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I got
The
one
people
just
who
like
light with
that.
oil are
Like-
familiar with the halachot.
Yeah.
The shamash comes off.
Yeah, it does. It does.
Because why? Not you can't light an oil. You can't use an oil candle and light. The oil's going to spill. Why does it come off?
You can use it.
Because
Because
you're
most
not
people
using
don't use it.
You're not using it.
They just take this and put it on their Judaica shelf, and they
You
put
know,
it on
I
for display.
wondered about
Oh,
that.
that's so nice.
I wondered why, and now I see.
What do you mean?
Because I got one just like that.
Like this.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Terrific.
Beautiful Hanukah.
So you just light directly with the match.
so
You
what
don't use.
Or with a candle. And by the way, for those of you who light with candles, don't be afraid. You're allowed to light Hanukkah candles with Hanukkah candles. Until you need a shamash to light the candles with it. Only if you're using oil, because it's impractical to use oil to light another candle. But if you're using candles, candles are not allowed to be used for any mundane purpose. But for lighting Hanukkah candles, they're allowed. The shamash is not necessary. So when I asked the appeals, which I do every year, people drive me crazy about the shamash. He told me that I should light a shamash. I should make sure to do it after I light all the other candles, or sometimes even before I light the candle, just to show people that it's not part of the mitzvah. And I should use a cheap oil. I mean, not an olive oil. I should use so I use paraffin oil, the kind of oil they light sternos
Yeah.
with, or so it's clear, it's white. You'll see my menorah has 8 olive oil cups and 1 with white oil inside it.
So when you have that kind of thing and you have olive oil, you can light with an ordinary candle.
And then you just
And-
put it out at the end.
And then if you want, you can light a shamash and keep it up there to burn too.
Yeah, sure, you can do that also.
Yeah.
The thing, you don't need a shamash anymore. Even if the lights, you would never come to use an olive oil light. And it's not like, oh, it's so dark in my house. Where's my Hanukah? In a world where it was expensive to light 1 candle, but every night you have now 8 candles. Our Rabbi said, listen, we're worried. There's pitch black in the house. The only light is in the dining room now. Everyone's going to go read their books in the dining room a little bit. You have to put a candle there to make sure that the light that they're using is not the light of the Hanukah. So Maran is saying in a place where there's already a fire, you don't need to light shamash because you already did.
Yeah.
So you could take the shamash, light all the candles, and then you just put it out.
Now here, Halacha Vav. Maran says, Manicho. Lemala mishlosha tfachim. You have to light it higher than 3 tfachim. How much is a tefach? A fist. Very good. A fist without your thumb. They measure it about 8 centimeters if someone did an average. So 3. 1, 2, 3. About this tall.
What's the
Off the ground.
height of the...
Off the ground?
Off the ground.
Oh.
Especially if you're lighting in your courtyard. Imagine you're not putting it on the floor. You can't put a mitzvah on the floor. What's the highest? It's proper to light it lower than 10 tfachim. How many is 10 tfachim? 10 fists. It's the best height to light a Hanukah on. My Hanukah is lit higher than 10 tfachim. This table is higher than...
Yeah, and most
It's supposed to be
windows
higher
are
than
too.
that? It's on.
It's supposed to be lower than that.
Yeah. So,
But there's a big but here.
but
V'im hinicho lemala ma'asara tfachim yatsa. If you light it above 10 tfachim, you still fulfill the mitzvah. Aval. What's the highest? Im hinicho lemala me'isrim ama. If you light it higher than 20 ama. An ama is 18 inches about. An ama, really, you measure from your elbow until your hand.
18 inches.
18 inches is the amount. 18 inches times 20. How many feet do we come out to?
18 inches.
30 feet, right?
18 times 20? Is
It's about
360.
360.
Divided by 12.
Oh,
30,
4.
right? You're right.
4 to 36.
1.5 times 20.
No, it's 1 to 36.
1.5 times 20 is 30.
30. Thank
Okay.
you, Eli.
Thank you.
30 feet. Yes? You could do it in your paper if you like. 30 feet. You're not allowed to light a Chanukiah higher than 30 feet. The same halacha applies to schach. You cannot put your schach
30 feet.
30 feet higher. Why? What's the halacha? What's the reason? We say that above 30 feet, people's eyes don't see it there. It's already above my eyes' view. There's a picture in my house of someone davening at the kotel. Every time people, is this a real picture? Of course it is. Why do you think it's not? Well, there's so much writing on the rocks over there. Have you ever noticed? People wrote their names, people wrote all kinds of announcements on those rocks. It used to be in the old days, the people graffitied the kotel. It was a thing. Well, I was at the kotel and I never saw it. The reason you never saw it is because you only see, I lived at the kotel. I saw this writing. Because I spent so many hours on balconies overlooking the kotel, in different elevations around the kotel. But the average person standing at the kotel doesn't see it higher than 30 feet. And therefore it doesn't make sense to light a Chanukiah higher than 30 feet. This is what I mentioned, that it would be a problem. Let's say, Baruch Hashem, Chabad has a beautiful custom of lighting Chanukiah all over the place. In public places, and malls, and shopping centers. This is a wonderful thing. I'm not talking about whether you should or should not make a bracha, but many of those Chanukiot are higher than 30 feet. Some of them even use cherry pickers to get up onto the top of them. So over there, one must ask a serious question of a posek: can one light a Chanukiah that high? I'm sure someone there asked. I'm just sharing.
That is for the public.
Yeah,
That's for a display.
I'm aware.
Yeah, but still, our candles are on display too.
But that is more display than
Well, it's in the public forum there, yeah, but I feel like...
therefore you can have it.
Peretz points out when we learn this section of Halacha that nobody really comes into you've never seen somebody in your house light a Chanukiah 30 feet.
Yeah,
It's
right,
not relevant to a person's house. You also never saw somebody light Chanukiah candles on the floor. This is a very not so relevant Halacha. When is it relevant? Remember the guy who lived in the attic? Where does he light?
In the
Yeah,
window.
where does he
In
light?
the window. What happens if he lives higher than 30 feet
Yeah.
of the ground?
Or an apartment building.
In an apartment building. This
Well,
would be a problem.
Maybe it's from the ground that he's living at,
Yeah.
Oh, very good. Is it? Is it?
the floor. I don't
You
know.
hope so.
Yeah, how did they
It's
light
not,
in the...
because why is he lighting in his window? So the people on the street can see it. Today, where we don't light for the people outside, you're right, he can light on his
Yeah,
table.
yeah.
But in these days, when people lived in an apartment building,
Then it would be higher than 30
it would be
feet.
higher than 30 feet, you would not be allowed to light at that window. Where does he light? I don't have a good answer for you. But what I could tell you is, in a place like Manhattan, where you light, and across from you is another building full of people, parents once told me that it could be that those people count as your public domain. The person who lives across the street from you, also higher than 30 feet, those people would see your Chanukiah, so it could be you already fulfilled your obligation that way.
I see it's still apartments, everybody have to light down in the lobby.
Yes, the lobby, then everybody likes that lobby.
The lobby is a problem, Barry, because the lobby, nobody knows that it's you who is lighting Hanukkah candles.
Yeah, one of the people waiting.
So you should live on the first floor.
Okay, now,
We can bring sign first floor for you.
now let's look on page. We're looking into the middle of Zion.
Yeah.
They developed a custom to light a Chanukiah inside of the synagogue as well.
Same page.
Yeah, it's going to be on your page in 278 in the middle of the page. Uve Beit HaKnesset. See this? It's going to be the middle of Zion. Uve Beit HaKnesset. Uve Beit HaKnesset. Bold letters in my book. Uve Beit HaKnesset, and if you're lighting in the synagogue, so we know where you light it in your house. Now, where do you light in the synagogue? Manicho bekotel darom. You put it on the southern wall. Umadikan umevachin mishum pirsumei nisa. On the southern wall, in our Beit Knesset, where's the southern wall? That one. It seems to me that the contemporary poskim understand Maran as saying, you don't light on that wall, rather you light on the southern side of the Aron Kodesh. You know there's a halachot. Where's the rabbi supposed to sit in the Beit Knesset?
What?
The rabbi is supposed to sit on the north side of the Aron Kodesh. On this side of the...
Yeah.
Where's the Chanukiah supposed to be lit? On the south side of the Aron Kodesh, like it was in the Beit HaMikdash.
Who sits there?
Nobody, the Chanukah.
So that's, so,
In shul, where do they light?
okay, so,
The
they
number?
light on yeah, go on that side.
The left side
Yeah,
of the
they
Aron
must-
Kodesh.
Yeah, they do.
No, the right
But-
side of the Aron Kodesh.
Well, which way, facing the Aron Kodesh? It's the right side.
Facing the Kodesh on
Yeah,
the right
it's
side.
the right.
Correct.
But
That's where the rabbi sits.
But the rabbi doesn't sit, the rabbi sits on the right,
And
On
where
the
does the
left.
Oh,
Chanukah
yeah,
light?
that's
and the
right.
president sits on the left,
Where's the Chanukah?
on the right.
I'm not telling you to light the president. I'm asking you where the... On the right, so it's lit here. This is the correct side.
Yeah.
You could read the Shulchan Aruch to light on that wall, but that's not what we're saying. We're saying it really to light here. Now the question is, how can you make a bracha on a menorah in the Bet Knesset? Nobody lives here. This is in Yiddish, there's a word called shvach. This is a really weak halacha, but Maran mentions it. There's nothing we could do. Our rabbis were not so excited about people lighting Chanukiah to the synagogue. But it turns out that there is an opinion that says, my brother-in-law pointed this out on Shabbat, that since we no longer light in public, our rabbis wanted a place where we could light in public. And they said, so when people come to pray Mincha and Arvit in the Bet Knesset, we light in public. The custom that I've seen in most communities, aside from some Moroccan and Algerian communities, is to light between Mincha and Arvit. That way the candles are lit while people are still in the Bet Knesset. In Morocco, there was a custom recorded that after Arvit, before they said Aleinu and all those things, they got together, they lit the Chanukah, they sang Maoz Tzu, and then they said Aleinu and people left. Why that was the custom, I don't know. The simple custom in my heart is to do like everyone else does, which is between Mincha and Arvit. That's when one should light the Chanukah. We make a bracha. What if a person lit in the Bet Knesset? Me, let's say I'm here in the Bet Knesset the first night and I light. What do I do at home?
You don't say a bracha in the shul. You don't say amen.
You say a bracha in the shul.
You
No, you
light the
wouldn't say it if you're
candles.
going to do it at home. You can't do
Everyone's
it.
going to light at home. Somebody has to light it here.
home is the first. But
No,
then,
I'm at shul.
uh,
Forget that it's a Saturday night here. Forget. I'm just saying normal. Let's say Hanukkah starts on a Tuesday.
You can't say a bracha twice.
So it seems like you can. I would go home and make a bracha again because this lighting was not to fulfill my obligation.
yes, that's
This lighting was simply to light in public. When does it get into a problem? On the first night. We know you can make two blessings on lighting Hanukkah candles, one for the public and one for my private domain. But what about Shechianu?
Mm.
The Shechianu I made here on the first night, do I go home and say Shechianu again? Over there's an argument among the poskim. Some say yes, some say no.
the same logic applies. It's public as a private. What you do for your family.
Halaperet says that one should not make a Shechianu like the Mishnah Berurah. Meaning you said Shechianu once, so maybe someone else at home should say Shechianu.
Mm-hmm.
If you're lighting here, so your wife at home should say Shechianu. Someone who didn't see the candles yet can make Shechianu, but not you.
That may be okay too.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
And according to some rabbis, one shouldn't even go make the blessing of Shasani Sim Lavotenu again, because that's also a blessing you already make once. Rather, you would only make the first blessing of the Hadlik and Chanukah at home, and whatever you did, the B'Knesset you did. In some countries, they were customary to give one of the younger boys the mitzvah of lighting at shul to avoid this problem, which just creates other problems. How could a young person who doesn't have mitzvot
Yeah.
light for you, right? That's a different question. What some might say is maybe you give it to somebody who's over bar mitzvah, but who's Sephardic, who doesn't light a Chanukiah at their own house. Because at home they have a father who lights for him. So then at shul he lights for everybody. He can make all the brachot, and at home he doesn't. That seems to be, in my eyes, I didn't see how our parents write this, but in my eyes that would seem like a good solution. Although I'm open to critique on that.
Saying blessing 2 or 3 times doesn't make it any problems.
The question, what?
Blessing the soul at home.
No.
neighbor's house.
Only shul and home, nowhere else. See that? Only shul and home. The question now here is, what if I'm getting together another public event? Imagine I'm making a Hanukkah concert. Imagine such a thing. I was once invited to a Hanukkah concert, and now you want to light their Chanukiah. Does it have the same status as a Bet Knesset? Some rabbis say it's bad enough you're making a blessing in the Beit Knesset. We barely managed to scrape that off the bottom of the pot. Now you want me to also to make it a public place that's not even a Beit Knesset? Some say you should pray Arvit there. I mean, turn it into a Beit Knesset. Pray some tefillah there. Some say you should light, some say you should light. There's room to say that someone could light there. If somebody wants to, there's room to say you could light there. I shy away from being the one to do the lighting. I've been in some places, public places, Chanukah, oh, you should light. So you know what, I would really like to pass on the honor to Rabbi so-and-so. Why? I don't want to get my head involved here. But you could. L'maaseh, you could. It's not a blessing in vain, but I think it is a blessing in vain. I was once in a place where they gave everybody a candle to light. And everybody held a candle and they were waving it up in the air. And it's like 3,000 brachot of matana. This is the problem. One person can light over there for everybody, but everybody lighting for everybody. And then they held the candle, they blew out the candle. It was an Orthodox place, don't think. I wasn't hanging around. It was an Orthodox rabbi running the show. But clearly one who didn't study Shulchan Aruch so well.
You ever point that out to people?
I'll tell you where it happens most often is when people throw a Hanukkah party at someone's house. They say, bring your own menorah. But I'm not sleeping here tonight. Meaning, I'm not allowed to light here. I have to light at home.
You tell you where you sleep.
You have to light where you sleep.
It's the
People don't
right.
know this.
Party will be after lighting candle at home.
I tried once to tell people, and the response was
Negative.
and they weren't going to listen to me. And I figured I'd rather them make a mistake without knowing than to know and blatantly go against halacha. And it would change. It would change based. If it was a person from my community, I trust the people in my community follow halacha very much so. And therefore, if I know that if I would go to somebody in my shul and say, you shouldn't do this, they wouldn't do it. And therefore, but if I was in someone else's community, there was another rabbi who did something, I wouldn't. I don't know that I would bring it up. That's the question. I don't know that I would bring it up.
So what happens if you stay at someone else's house for Shabbat? And you're not going to light too early.
We're going to talk about Shabbat. Is there tomorrow? We don't know. Tomorrow. We're going to talk about Shabbat on Monday. Because it'll be relevant for next Shabbat.
Yeah, we will.
Correct? Just one thing. If a person has to light the Hanukkah candles, but then they lit the first candle, then right away something happened. They need to run. There's a meeting, there's a phone call, there's something. The wife burned something in the kitchen, needs your help. Whatever happened, I don't know what happened. Imagine. Once you lit that first candle, you're good. You fulfilled your mitzvah of Hanukkah. And therefore, you can technically hand your shamash to somebody else and tell him to light the rest of the candles, or her to light the rest of the candles. You could even do this lechatchila. Sometimes I see at my house, there's some people, they look a little bit downtrodden. They look a little, a few people show up to light with me, and I see somebody going through a rough time. Or I don't know that they're going to light at home, a Chanukiah. So what I do is I'll light one candle. My wife lights a candle. And probably this year I'll help a Chanan light a candle, and then I'll give other people around the table opportunity to light the candle. Once you lit your one candle, you don't have to light the rest of the candles. And especially in a Sephardic home where you only light one Chanukiah, and there really is no opportunity for the kids or other people to light candles, it's best for you to then let them get involved and have a parent. This is his custom. That every night he adds another one of his children, or his wife first, obviously, and then his children, they light candles, each one of them. So Hashem should be happy Chanukah.
Yeah.
Hashem's coming right on the corner. How Pelitz Minhag is before every holiday we have to sing a song together. So maybe we'll do Al Hanisim.
Good idea.
Al Hanisim ve'al HaPurkan ve'al HaGvuot ve'al HaTshuot ועל המלחמות שעשית לאבותינו בימים ההם בזמן הזה. Sing along. על הניסים ועל הפורקן ועל הגבורות ועל התשועות ועל המלחמות שעשית לאבותינו בימים ההם בזמן הזה. על הניסים ועל הפורקן ועל הגבורות ועל התשועות ועל המלחמות שעשית לאבותינו בימים ההם בזמן הזה. ושמחת וחגגת והיית שמח ושמחת וחגגת והיית שמח יאללה 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 חנוכה שמח ונקרא בגדול.
Okay. Okay,